Hi, welcome to Science from Above. This is Lucy B, and this is titled Don't Listen to Mainstream Media. And here are some of the reasons why. Many of us have heard about the blockbuster hit movie, Sound of Freedom. Sound of Freedom is based on a true story of a former government agent who rescues hundreds of children from sex traffickers. Did you know that US is the number one consumer in the world for sex trafficking? Also, did you know that there are more than 252,000 websites containing images or videos of children being sexually abused? But yet, many media platforms deny this is true and have stated that it is a conspiracy theory. All right, let's look at Rotten Tomatoes and check out the audience score of 100% and over 10,000 verified. So let's look at what the media says about Sound of Freedom. We saw what the audience rating is, but let's just check out the media and let's see if it agrees with one another. So basically what The Guardian is saying, that this is some conspiracy theory thriller seducing America. According to Rolling Stone, Sound of Freedom is just a superhero movie for dads with brainworms. Again, the Washington Post is basically saying the same thing, that Sound of Freedom is linked to conspiracy theories. And let's not forget CNN, another media platform that states that this is all a conspiracy theory, but ends up being a hit. Okay, so does anybody remember the Netflix's movie Cuties? So the movie is based upon a 11-year-old coming to terms with her sexuality. Netflix was sued over the film, which Attorney General Barr stated no excuse for the sexualization of children, calling the movie disgusting at best and a serious crime at worst. One part of the film showed what do you want to say? Private area, according to reports. And remember, this is 11-year-old children. So with the media platforms calling Sound of Freedom fictions, lies, conspiracy theory, among other things, would you like to know what they said about Cuties? So the Tomatometer gave this an 87% and a certified fresh movie, while the audience score was 15% with over 2,500 ratings. All right, so check this out. Rolling Stone said regarding Cuties that it is a coming-of-age movie caught in the culture wars. But remember what they said about Sound of Freedom. They said that it is basically brainworms for dads. NBC basically said the same thing about the Cuties as well, that it's just a culture war. The Guardian said that it is bold, flawed, and misunderstood regarding Cuties. But yet let's go back to when they said that Sound of Freedom is a conspiracy theory. The Stanford Daily says that Cutie is a great film overshadowed by the controversy. Los Angeles Times that Cutie deserves better than it got from Netflix, and for those who condemned it, sight unseen. As far as the Telegraph, why don't you go ahead and read it? I don't even want to get banned for saying what they had said. Let's go back to the audience score of Cuties was 15% with over 2,500 ratings. Sound of Freedom, 100% with over 10,000 ratings. So my question is, why is the media trying to convince the population what a great movie it is when again, the audience review is 15%? So let's dig deeper. Let me introduce you to Tara Lee Rodas. She is an HHS whistleblower. Look her up because most of mainstream media will not even cover her. But what she did was she told Congress in April that the United States federal government has become the middleman in a multi-billion-dollar human trafficking operation targeting unoccupied minors at the southern border. So Ms. Rodas volunteered to help with a plan by the Biden administration to get control of the humanitarian disaster on the U.S.-Mexico border in 2021. So Ms. Rhoda stated to Congress that I thought I was going to help place children in loving homes. Instead, I discovered that children are being trafficked through a sophisticated network that begins with being recruited in home country, smuggled to the U.S. border, and then ended up being delivered to a sponsor. And some sponsors are criminals and traffickers and members of transnational criminal organization. So some sponsors view children as commodities and assets to be used for earning income. So Rhoda saw that children who spoke only a dialect of Mayan reunited with sponsors who only spoke English. She saw single apartment buildings that had taken up to 50 children. She saw single sponsors collecting multiple children from different sites using several different addresses. Rhoda's testimony has received muted coverage, but is not the only one to come forward. So a lot of people, again, you go back to the whole conspiracy theory things, right? Well, even I have a firsthand account on a family member. It's my husband's cousin that has gone missing, and her name is Sunny Samrick. So on April 20th, 2019, Sunny was last seen in Trenton, Nebraska, and she was left with a man by the name of Floyd Clifford Coates. In his vehicle, it was a 2004 Ford Explorer with Iowa plates. They drove to Omaha, Nebraska, which is about 300 miles away, where they planned to pick up Floyd's niece. So around 12:45, Sunny called her mom to let her know that she would be back that evening, but she never returned. Mr. Floyd Coates stated that he went into the casino in Iowa from about 9 to midnight. He stated that when he returned to the car, she was gone. And now remember that Sunny was not, she was 17 years old and couldn't have gone into the casino. The funny thing about casinos is that there are cameras pretty much everywhere, and which proved that Mr. Floyd was not there. The funny thing about casino, he then went on to change his story and said that he stopped at a gas station, and when he went inside to pay, she was gone. So Floyd Clifford Coates does have a long criminal record, which includes sale and possession of drugs, theft and attempt to flee and elude police, lying and having sexually explicit material, possessions of a deadly weapon, assault by a confined person, and false imprisonment. So they concluded that there has been foul play, but then no suspect named. However, Floyd has remained free, jail time here and there throughout this time for other crimes that he has committed. So I want to tell you about another personal story. This was when my daughter was 3 months old, and I went to take her by myself on a plane trip back to go see my family. I had laid her down on a chair, and I went to just pick up my things so then I could grab her. But in that time, there was a woman that walked by, picked up my daughter, and started walking away. I ran to grab her, got my daughter, and this woman acted like she was just trying to help, but whether she did or not, she was telling me that, she spoke no English. But the fact that this woman literally just picked up my daughter and walked off in an airport, again, with security everywhere, cameras everywhere. Like, this stuff happens, and I've seen it firsthand. It would be better for them to be thrown into the sea with a millstone tied around their neck than to cause one of these little ones to stumble. And I couldn't agree more. And I thank Jesus every day for keeping us safe in a world where Satan is ruling. So that's all that I have, and I guess we will see you next time. Bye.